being socially awkward, anxious, and having the worst self-esteem to now socially confident, speaking to more people, being around more people, and actually building a conversation. It takes a lot of time, lots of trial and error. And over the past couple of years, through trial and error of actually doing the repetition of speaking, of public speech, and actually trying to build your confidence, you start to improve your self-esteem. What I'm trying to teach in your life for you to implement is how to build sharp, resilient self-esteem that's unbreakable. The whole concept of having low self-esteem is by relying on others for them to validate you. So why do we usually do that? Why do humans try to make themselves feel good in front of other people? Because, we're tribal beings, we're humans. Humans are meant to be social. And if we're not actually getting the attention that we actually get, let's say from our family, our father, our mother, and our brothers don't approve of what you're doing in school or entrepreneurial wise, right? They don't like the idea of you trying to do that. And it makes you feel a little bit down because they're not accepting the fact that you actually want to do something with your life, right? Something that you truly like. The only reason why we actually feel down about it is because we want our family, our tribe to like us. Biologically, we want our family to validate us, right? But now when another random person that we don't know invalidates that opinion of ours, what does that do for us? It makes us think that we need their approval, but in reality, you don't need another person's approval. That's why you start to actually lack that confidence, that esteem, self-esteem of yours just starts to deplete. True confidence starts to begin when you stop seeking approval and you start accepting yourself. Now, I'm going to be going down how to actually do that, why you should be doing that, and what's the best case scenario and doing it or not doing it. Now, there's many solutions to fixing your low self-esteem, but I'm going to go over why this happens, okay? As a human, we start to validate others' opinion more than ours. And again, as I mentioned earlier, we're humans. We want this tribal being, or we want this tribal feeling from other humans. We want to feel included. We want to be known that this person actually likes what I'm doing. Another thing is we fear judgment. Now, other people thinking that you doing this certain thing, let's say I'm making clothes, right? And they don't like it. And you're too scared to show them, or you're too scared to show the world. That's a fear of judgment. You're scared from other people's approval. You're scared of what other people are going to say. Now, it comes to the question on why do we fear other people's judgment? Well, we start to link self-worth onto other people's opinions. We start to put our own our worth onto other people. Like they're holding it within their palms. And you're just giving it to them. You're giving your heart out. You're giving your entire emotion out. And now, why do we do that? Another thing could be you hide parts of yourself. So within certain people or certain groups, you actually choose to filter it out because you think that I'm too weird. But little do we know, everybody acts the same way you do. And it's funny because we think that we're not good enough because of other people's opinions. But again, you can't let another being that thinks the same, feels the same, has the same thoughts as you to actually infiltrate your mind, to think that you're below them. And that's never the case. That's never the case. Because if you think about it, look at it as this way, okay? These people have the same negative thoughts, intrusive thoughts, just like you. And you're basically saying that they don't get that same fear. Every human feels fear, okay? That's something that every human should know. You should know this too. But we get into our head to think that this is not true. So now I'm gonna go over 3 things you should do to actually eliminate your low self-esteem and what you should actually do some homework on, okay? This is gonna be a value-based video because you will not get this anywhere else. I promise you that. These wishy-washy videos that you probably watch telling you to do X, Y, and Z, but it's not even helping you. That's why you're on this video. Now look, okay, let me get one thing straight. Your confidence does not come from you trying to be liked. If you be desperate, people feel that energy, okay? When you're trying to seek other people's approval, begging your hands to them, telling them, please approve me, you're not gonna get it. You will never get their approval because it just comes from being authentic, okay? Your authenticity actually radiates like some sort of magnet, and people like that, like genuinely, people love it when you're able to be the real you. The real me is me being on camera right now, okay? Me just speaking my mind. The next thing could be face discomfort, okay? Discomfort looks like you approaching a person. Discomfort looks like, let's say you're at a wedding and there's people dancing and you just jump into it because you want to face that fear. You have that little thing stopping you, telling you, do not go. Don't go, Malad, don't do this. This is scary. Why would you listen to that little voice in your head? It's not even real, right? So what I'm trying to say is notice when you feel insecure, when you feel that little grasp telling you to don't do this certain task or this certain thing. Don't approach that person. Don't speak. Sit with it and actually think, like, why am I feeling this? That could be another thing you could write down about to actually understand why am I doing X, Y, and Z. So remember, your shadow work can actually take you a long way. And the last thing, what I'm gonna go over is to ask or to explore your true self. So those questions I gave you to understand why you're feeling this little grasp in your heart, in your mind, to not do those certain things. Another thing could be like, what am I afraid to show? Why am I so afraid to show my true self? Why do I feel desperate to actually speak or to be approved by other people? Like, why do these things keep on reoccurring? So I would suggest you to go on ChatGPT, ask ChatGPT to make you, let's say, 5 to 10 questions on a journal. You write down some things about me being judged. Why am I so afraid to be judged? Why am I so afraid of getting judged? My bad. Why am I so afraid of feeling to do, or why am I so afraid to actually approach people? Why am I so afraid of being my own self, like being authentic? And this like takes me back to when I was actually starting with all this, like many years ago. And I remember how uncomfortable it was. I remember, as in Afghan, when we go to weddings, right, you have to dance. And I would be sitting there just clapping like this, right? But I never actually danced. And one day I just decided, let me just go in the pit where everybody else is dancing. And why not do it? I don't even know what I'm doing, but I'm still gonna do it. After many times, now I actually know how to dance. I know how to actually, it's so funny. Because I thought I just had to learn it from some YouTube video or my parents, but how else would you learn if you're not gonna actually do the thing? Or let's say approaching. I remember when I was first trying to approach, like I had a bunch of intrusive thoughts. I know you can relate to this, but those intrusive thoughts telling me that you can't do X, Y, and Z. You can't go out and speak. And now, compared to the Malad now, it's completely different. It's like I brainwashed my mind to think that I am able to do these certain things, and it's so crazy. Like when you actually give the repetition, I said this in my Instagram story earlier, the more you do repetition, the more you do certain things, you'll actually see how much more progression you'll make. You will see it, and I promise you, you'll see it within a matter of weeks. If you do this every single day, maybe 3 times a day. You know, you pray Salah, do it like 5 times a day, 4 times a day. Go out and speak to people 5 times a day, man. Make it a goal. Have these goals, weekly goals, monthly goals, daily goals. You will see the progression. And if you do want to actually level up, I have my link down below where you can book your own call. If you're super serious, and we'll actually get that system sorted out, because I know you're struggling with it. I know you're on this video for a reason and you want to make that change. Well, I think now is the time to start, because enough time has been wasted. You don't want to waste time just like I did, but look where I did. Look what I did. I actually took that time to get to certain amounts of success with public speech, with confidence, and now I can just record anywhere, right? Instagram is also down below, so just DM me if you have any questions.